Here at the Aviation Collective, we recently conducted a workplace culture survey with participation from more than 350 aviation professionals from every region of the world, with respondents evenly split among managers and employees. I believe there are some trends exposed in this report that will help you in your self-leadership and that of your team. You'll want to stay until the end of this training because we have a bonus for you just for participating today. Not only will you receive a copy of the report, but I'll tell you my top takeaways from the data it reveals. I want to start by examining some of these trends. It is not just you. Employee turnover is high. In fact, so high, the phenomenon has been named the Great Resignation. Engagement is low, even though in aviation, people love their jobs. Mechanics are hard to find. Specifically in the aviation industry, we're losing skilled labor to other industries that don't require 24/7 coverage, expensive tools, or licenses. Case in point, Disney is the top recruiter of newly licensed airframe and power plant technicians. I don't have to tell anyone here that working in a short-staffed environment is not a sustainable proposition. Overstretched employees make mistakes. Overworked bosses are too busy to develop their team, and productivity deteriorates. Incidents or accidents happen. Businesses have catastrophic losses. This unsustainable cycle can be broken, and the secret is in shifts in workplace culture. In a report released earlier this year, analytics company Culture X noted that the biggest predictor of employee attrition isn't pay, but workplace culture. In their analysis of more than 1.4 million Glassdoor reviews across 38 industries, they found poor company culture is 12.4 times more likely than compensation to predict an employee departure. A recent National Bureau of Economic Research study indicated 85% of CEOs and CFOs believe that an unhealthy corporate culture leads to unethical behavior. The same survey of chief executives indicated that 9 out of 10 believe that improving corporate culture would increase their company's value, and more than 3/4 of them ranked culture as among the 5 most important factors driving their company's valuation. The recent Netflix documentary about the Boeing 737 MAX issues, titled Downfall, revealed a shift in Boeing's culture after the merger with McDonnell Douglas, from a relentless safety focus to a shareholder value prioritization. In this industry, as well as in others, what we do, how we shape our culture, can have life or death impact. Values shifts in any direction can have unintended consequences. The bottom line is that culture impacts profitability, productivity, and public perception, and probably a few more measures that don't start with P. But what impacts culture? First is people. The team you hire and their collective personalities, values, skills, diverse experiences, and everyday behaviors make up this living organism we call workplace culture. How they interact with each other on a daily basis impacts everything about the company. Are they collaborative or finger-pointing? Supportive or competitive? Task or team-oriented? My nephew graduated from college a couple of years ago and went to work for a massive financial institution in what he thought would be his dream job. He left after just 18 months for a lower-paying job because he felt like every time he had a question, his lack of knowledge was used against him for someone else's gain. This leads me to leadership. The way company leaders communicate and interact with employees has a huge impact on the company's health. What leaders emphasize, the stories they tell, what they publicly celebrate and recognize matters, as does their ability to bring a vision to life, rally the team when there's a setback, visually embody the company's values, and earn the trust of employees and stakeholders alike. Similarly, how the organization is managed makes a difference. Clear systems, procedures, hierarchy, controls, and goals help drive an organization forward. If these are also fair, well-vetted, and frequently reviewed, fewer mistakes occur. The degree to which managers empower employees to make decisions and offer feedback also affects morale. Workplace practices play a part in shaping the culture as well, especially as it relates to retention and advancement of employees. This includes how a company recruits, selects, onboards, compensates, recognizes, trains, develops, reviews, and honors the outside commitment of its employees. Our survey showed that employees experience frustration and a lack of clarity in this area. Well, nobody can say there aren't enough policies, procedures, or regulations in aviation. If they do, I'm sure many of us could send a stack of FAA or EASA-issued handbooks. How we apply those operations policies, as well as those issued by any federal Department of Labor, matters. Companies also have employment policies such as attendance requirements, uniform or dress codes, ethics expectations, and zero tolerance policies for certain behaviors. Even more important than the policies themselves are how consistently they're applied and enforced. Are they real policies or just lip service? I touched on this next area of impact earlier, priorities. These are found in the mission, vision, and values of an organization. They are critically important. If you value profit over safety, you may end up with incidents or worse. But if you value safety at the cost of operational efficiency, you may end up out of business. Mission, vision, and values of an organization should be clear enough to build enthusiastic buy-in. They should be almost over-communicated and only changed upon very careful consideration. My most successful coaching clients hire for values. They and their team members can articulate not only what those values are, but what those values look like in practice. And they live them out as much as possible. Overarching all of these impacts is communication. Not surprisingly, a lack of clear expectations, unprofessional verbal and nonverbal communication, inconsistency, and the absence of transparency lead the causes for workplace dissatisfaction. And like I said at the beginning of this training, workplace discord is a 12 times more accurate indicator of churn than dissatisfaction with pay. Since culture is a living, breathing, ever-changing organism, it can always be strengthened.